Good afternoon to everyone. This is the Power of Healing with Utabi. Ungo Ketelo. I hope you guys are still doing fine. Yeah. So lo bengula kamzili kazi lo. Umashobana. Khadra. Today ngizokhuluma, as you can see, I'm going to talk about Mermaid flower or Inkosazane flower. And the reason why I decided to talk about this flower is because I mentioned it in one of my videos. Ngathi the day I find it ngizonibonisa because it's not easy to find. Ungai mistake her with other or ungai confuse her with other flowers, but it's not easy to find. And angazi, for some reason you don't get it when you need it. Or you do get it when you need it, but tends to be on a certain occasion. I don't know. Yeah. So it's easy to confuse her with other flowers, but I thought, let me show you today, as I did promise ukuthi ngizonibonisa. But then in talking about it, I think it was, for me now, it was easier that I talk about this easy to talk about nurturing the stages of maturity in spirituality while I talk about this flower, because I felt like, oh Gogo, they are redirecting me to it. Anyway, it wasn't my plan to do this video. I was supposed to do another video about ukhethelwa umuntu, and but I realized that bang redirected to that because angazi noma is it because of umsebenzi ekufanele ngiyowenza that weekend. But yeah, anyways, so reason why I want to talk about this flower, I think it gave me a platform of explaining how do we fail in nurturing the maturity of our spirituality, because we fail in most cases. So this flower kind of connected to that topic. So yeah, angazi, I'll explain though. So this is basically how the flower looks like. Must say immature enough, right? Must say immature enough. It looks like this, but it's still this one. If you look at the color, it's still ayikafiki lapho. I thought I had a deeper one, but angazi ukuthi kwenzakaleni. Okay, and then I got to realize ukuthi alifuni kahle kahle ukuhlala emanzini. So this is the flower name, but so I'm going to explain, I'm going to share a story what happened today. Maybe it will make sense. Man story of what happened with these flowers today. So I was on my way somewhere this morning, and I saw the first two flowers, ne? I saw them and I was like, how? All of a sudden ngiyalibona, okay, picked the flowers, ngawafaka ebhegini, then realized that as somehow angazi avele adamageka afa. Okay, that was the first instance where ngiwabona. The second, so when I came back, now I saw many, and as I see many, I decided to pick them up, but this time ngawabamba ngesandla, right? I had to hold them until I get home. So that is why maybe they look a bit like, because no more, so they look a bit like squashed. But so moral of that story, Nyana, is that how we handle our spirituality, how we handle it. If it doesn't want to be boxed, and ufuna ukuyiboxa wena, it's going to die. If yona ifane ukuthi ibe open for abantu ukuthi bayibone, or ibe visible for abantu ukuthi bayibone, and when you want to box it, you want to suppress it because awufuna abantu bayibone, it's going to die. That's the moral of that little story that I just shared. I realized with these flowers, Gucci, abogogo, where they were saying no, it's not meant ukuthi ngene ebhegini yakho, hold it until you get home. So in spirituality, we need to understand the messages ngendlela eziza ngayo and understand them ngendlela right. Okay, Anyways, so let me explain this flower. Now I wanted to talk about the stages of this flower because it's you can misunderstand it with a lot of things. When this flower starts, it starts like this. This is the beginner stage of this flower. Okay? And then as it blooms, it goes here to this color. It goes to this color. And then as it now matures, it goes to this color even deeper that you don't even understand whether it's violet or it's bluish, or it gives two colors in one. That's the matured stage of this flower. Now, why am I making this demonstration? This is another one. I think this one is deeper, but you can't see it because the phone changes the color. I think this one is much deeper. Why am I demonstrating this? It's because we seem to be lost in which stage, especially I want to speak about Inkosazane as well, because as the flower is, and why the reason it's called Inkosazane flower or the mermaid flower, or it's connected to the mermaid, abantu abanenkosazana have stages of maturity, and within those stages of maturity they need to be understood ukuthi umuntu kuziphi stage. You cannot treat them the same. Ama-stages wabantu who've got water spirits are funny. The elements that we have are funny. And before, guys, I continue, I wanted to say this, guys. I met a video yesterday. I was actually disappointed in this person, but I made a video where, you know, when your work is being copied, ne? And I felt that, yeah, when your work has been copied, and the decency of not even changing the title, I felt so bad, but I was like, ayizukufana the way the way I deliver it. Ayizukufana no matter how much you take, no matter how much you try to copy. And one thing about copying somebody else's gift or somebody else's way, that is why we have the saying, stick to your lane, stick to what you know. You can tell ukuthi umuntu akayisho into ngendlela right, then you are misleading abantu because you're not explaining what you know, what you've experienced. It has no meaning to you. So sticking to your lane and when zinto iphiwe oyaziyo makes sense, because even noma uyi-explainer it has weight. Uyayazi lento. We have a problem of taking izinto from abanye abantu akusinto yakho, and you don't want to accept ukuthi mina I'm in beginner stage, or I'm in blossoming stage, or I'm in or a blooming stage, sorry, in blooming stage, or I'm in maturity stage. Umuntu nomuntu ukuma stages wakhe, in their path, in their journey, in their gift, with their guides, with their spirit guides. So I just wanted to say that we need to accept ukuthi sikusiphi stage. So as I was talking about abantu benkosazana abafani. And also, as much as they are not the same, they do not have the same elements due to our ancestors wabo as well, because we need to know ukuthi kuna certain spirits that are also present. But in your team, in your spiritual team, unama ancestors and other elements, ne? And other spirits. You've got your ancestral spirits and you've got other spirits as well. Now, abafani labantu. So each and every one of us siphume emakhaya angafani. So akuzukufana konke ukuthi mina nginenkosazana nawe unenkosazana, so kuzofana because ngoba ama ancestors wethu awafani. When unenzuza nginenzuza, now akuzukufana, still inzuza zethu azizukufana. That's why we say umuntu nomuntu has their own journey, is unique in their own way. Akuzukufana because ama ancestors, the team onayo wena, your team ayifani neyami, ayizukufana futhi nomunye umuntu. Now that's the so I want to talk about abantu benkosazana. It's not necessarily mean you are the same. Hence I'm showing you the flower which ayifani, and as much as ingafani in the stages lapho, whether it's a beginner stage where isaqala isavela ubuyona, chances are I realized ukuthi lama flowers aphiliswa umoya. Chances are, in your journey, if you are not nurturing what you have, it's going to die. I was nurturing it with water, and I realized that it's not really a flower that is supposed to go into water for a long time. That's what I realized. So even with us, when you are going to use, if you are going to maintainer with resources or with tools that are not meant for it, it's going to die. Same as your spiritual journey, same as your spiritual gift. If uzoyifaka intweni engafanelanga ibe kuzo, izofa. If uzoyibeka a space in it that it's not supposed to be in, izofa. If uzozama ukuyifita into something that it is not, izofa. Going to die. So we have beginner stage. We have people who are in beginner stage, and they take long to be in beginner stage. It does not matter. What matters is that what are you understanding? The maturity that comes from the beginner, or sorry, not the maturity, but the wisdom that comes from the beginner stage. It does not matter in which stage you are in spirituality. What matters is fundani. The experience, the challenges, the lessons that comes with that. Are you able to grasp all of that into land? Hence, I was saying I have to learn, even on the matured stage that I'm at. I have to learn. Sometimes I do things wrong. Hence, I spoke about me ukufaka iflower ebhekini. You are constantly guided. You are constantly trained. Now, we've got the beginner stage where, now what I realized with the beginner stage, as I was holding these flowers again, these flowers, they were becoming squashed and losing shape. But the one that's in beginner stage was actually not losing shape. It's amazing. The message that you get from that, it's a funda. So it's not losing shape and it's not changing color because it's a funda kwayona. So it's pure. It's still in this white phase where you don't really know. We cannot say this flower is white because ayikafiki lapho fanele ibe khona. So when we begin, all of us are like this. Awukafiki lapho fanele khona. So as we see you starting, we see you, okay, you are going through this, and so you don't need to force yourself into immaturity stage or the second stage because usasela. So usayifuna kwawena, you still trying to understand your surrounding and environment and everything, the gift itself usayifuna. So it's okay you kuyifuna. That is why you won't change shape lana, and it won't really awukho critical stage now where if you don't do things right, there's certain consequences that you get, or there's not much challenge if you are still in this stage. And then we go to the second stage, which is now the blooming stage. Yeah, we get into the stage which is now the blooming stage, where now you are now trying to show color, but this is not your original color. This is not the maturity color. You're trying to show color now. You are trying to gather things, and now understanding some of the things, being able to use your gift in some to some things. That's that stage where now you are able to use your gift somehow, or you are able to understand your gift. Okay. In this stage, you're still not your original, what you is, or where you are supposed to be. You're still trying to understand indlela yakho, and understand your purpose, and understand, because in understanding purpose means having to learn and getting the lessons. Because for you to, when you are here, this is where now you connect, you're starting to connect dots. The blooming stage is about connecting dots and understanding your purpose yako, and now getting to understand little by little pieces of the purpose or your journey. Along the way, due to not nurturing the calling or your gift ngendlela right, it will die. You will lose it. If you cannot nurture it ngendlela right, you're going to lose it. Now, with all these stages, beginner stage, if it's still the beginner stage and you are trying to suppress what you have, chances are you are going to be lost. In the blooming stage, if you're suppressing the gift itself, chances are you are going to get drained and depressed. You are going to go through mental issues because you are trying to suppress who you are, because this thing now is fighting to come out. Now we get into the last stage, which is the nurturing stage, where now you are like, when so figile, where is this is your original color, this is where you're supposed to be. In this stage, also maintaining this stage or sustaining this stage depends on you and your maturity now, because once you are in this maturity stage, you are matured enough to make decisions, wise decisions. Should be also matured enough or have the wisdom on how to handle what you have. Because as I always say, if you're going to and seeing the color that you have come to be, and take this color and now become arrogant and self-absorbed by it, you're going to be in trouble. So in this maturity phase, this is where now you make choices and you make decisions, and decisions that are going to affect other people surrounding you, or decisions that are going to affect your whole life. Then the maturity stage, guys, is not as easy as we make it out to be. Kunezinto incintsha zona, kunozinto that as much as you would want, there are so many sacrifices that you have to do when you get to the maturity stage. So mina, it is okay for somebody to be in the blooming stage as much as they want to be, because when you get to this other stage now, where it's no longer about you, it's no longer about what you want, but what other people need, and what about what you are supposed to do. It's about now fulfilling this purpose in the greater now lento and lento view, not only your view, but with everything now ibhekwa abantu, and especially if it's a calling. If you're working with healing people, it's actually much different, because everything you do affects or impacts other people. Everything you do, kunempilo zabantu that is involved here. So in the maturity stage, guys, it's not easy. So that's why I say sticking to your lane and understanding your purpose makes it easier makes you grounded to your maturity stage, and it's not going to be easy uhambe nomoya. It's not going to be easy to be blown by the wind to any direction, because uyazazi ukuthi ubani. You are matured enough in this stage to understand what you've been doing the whole time, from initiation, from self-training, from going through life's challenges, and you now know how to deal with things and how to prevent things before they know, because before they become harmful. You know, because now with this maturity stage where you are being, you only have to sustain where you are. Sustaining something, guys, it's not easy, especially in spirituality. Sustaining the journey, sustaining where you are, your space, it's not as easy as we make it out to be. So guys, be comfortable in your own lane that you don't want to go to. Ungafuni, if your journey says wena umuntu ofane kufake ibhayi elimhlophe, so be it. It doesn't mean that you awazi lutho just because you are in the stage of ibhayi elimhlophe. It doesn't mean awazi lutho just because you are in a stage of ibhayi eli-red. It doesn't mean I was lutho just because you have not experienced water elements yet, or you're not gifted if you don't have water elements. I don't know who said ukuthi umuntu is not gifted when they don't have water elements. We've got people who've got wind spirits. We've got people who've got fire spirits. We've got people who've got earth spirits. We've got sikhuluma ngey'thunywa ey'ningi la, sikhuluma ngey'thunywa zendalo, iy'thunywa zaphezulu, iy'thunywa zemvula, there's a lot. Kunemimoya ehlukile. Be comfortable ngeyakho imimoya. Be comfortable with your own ancestral spirits and your ancestral and your antorage. Be comfortable with them. As I was saying, we've got it. There's entourage yethu is not the same. Your people, your guidance, your team is not the same. Be comfortable ngabakho nabalapha bakubeke khona, because you are going to grow there. You're going to mature lapho. So nature it's ngendlela abakuphe ngayo. Nature it's ngendlela ekufanele kuyenze ngayo. Don't jump into ezinye izinto ezingakufuni. So just so you'll be called certain things, or just so you get fame. This is not about fame. This is not about fame. This is not about the numbers. How many people you've collected along the journey, how many stones. This is not about the stones that you've collected along the journey, but this is about the jewels that you have. Because in collecting stones, you may basically gathering nothing. We have a tendency of collecting stones in our lives, stones that are meaningless. And when you get to a space where you have to use the stones, and you realize, that's when you realize that I've collected stones. I did speak about the jewels in life and the stones. And it goes even with friends. We have a tendency of collecting friends engeke basize ngalutho. It is nice for that moment, kusemnandi yonke into, but when you get to the challenges and the hardship of things, they're not there to support, or they're not there to encourage you. So basically, you've collected stones throughout your life. It's not about the stones, it's about the jewels that you have, the jewels that you can show to people and say, Mina, in my journey, this is what I collected, and it makes sense. Doesn't mean whether the jewels it's one or two, but the value of the jewel, that's what that gives meaning to into. The value of that jewel that you have collected gives meaning to your journey, whether it's one, whether it's two. So what's the point of having 1,000 stones that are not going to be valuable to you? I love you guys, and I hope this video intola in a good space, and we are still learning. I'm still learning in my journey as well. I am still learning. Akuna ukuthi it comes with the spirit, it comes with Inzuza, it comes with Inkosazane, it comes with Inkanyamba, it comes with water elements, or unicorn spirits, or akunaloko. It comes with wisdom, and it comes with maturity. Nyabo.